Good morning. I'd like to welcome the members of the media and the public to our press conference. I'm Patrick Windhorst, State Representative for the 118th District, which includes all or parts of the southernmost 11 counties of Illinois. I'm joined today by State Representative Grant Wherli, Senator Sen Curran, and Senator Dan McConchie. We are the Republican legislative members of the Joint Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Reform. We are here today to call for the immediate resumption of meetings of the Commission. The Commission has not met since March 5th, right before the governor started issuing executive orders in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. Prior to the COVID outbreak, the Commission was doing good work. 1 month and 1 day ago today, I, along with my colleagues joining me on this press conference, sent a letter to the co-chairs of the Joint Commission, Senator L.G. Sims and House Majority Leader Greg Harris. In the letter, we requested the Commission meet again. We signed and sent the letter on July 23rd. I was actually contacted by one of the co-chairs shortly after the letter was sent, was assured that we would be setting up meetings soon. It has now been 1 month and 1 day since we sent that letter, and I've had no further indication from either co-chair that a meeting will happen anytime soon. Unfortunately, the creation of this commission was the only ethics and corruption related reform that has passed since I've been in office. This commission was created on the heels of a state representative being accused of bribing a state senator. And that occurred while the representative was serving as a lobbyist for a company that was trying to legalize sweepstakes gambling machines in Illinois. And there have been other cases of unethical or corrupt conduct. There's also the case of a Democratic senator who pleaded guilty to serious crimes involving red light cameras and corruption surrounding the Capitol bill. And a Democratic senator who was accused of organizing a no-show union job for himself. More recently, and more famously, we have the case of ComEd paying hundreds of millions of dollars as part of a deferred prosecution agreement for its involvement in a bribery scheme that allegedly included ghost payroll jobs and favoritism for Speaker Madigan's former staffers in exchange for favorable legislative action. If we as a state government are to regain the public's confidence, we need to root out corruption and enact serious reforms. We need a state government worthy of its citizens, a government whose elected representatives put public service above their own personal benefits. That means no legislators as lobbyists. It also means no politicians walking through the revolving door the day they leave office. We must also tighten the requirements on legislators when it comes to disclosing our outside income. Today, we are demanding that the co-chairs of the Joint Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Reform resume meetings of the Commission in person, via Zoom, or whatever digital means that we can. We must resume the important work we're doing on the Commission. House Republicans have already called on Governor Pritzker to call a special session to address reforms. So far, the governor has refused. We are asking that the legislature be involved in crafting policy to end the cycle of public corruption that continues to embarrass our state. Get the Ethics Commission back together. Let's get back to work. Produce a report that leads to the passage of a strong package of corruption-busting reforms. There is time to complete our work before the election. I will now turn it over to Senator Dan McConchie.
Thanks, Representative Windhorst. It's really good to be on with everyone today. I'm glad Zoom is working. I just actually got a text message from my daughter indicating that in her first day of classes, Zoom has not been working on their campus, but I'm glad that it's working here for us today. Good morning. My name is Dan McConchie. I'm the state senator for the 26th district, which is in the northwest suburbs. And I'm here with colleagues from both the House and Senate who serve on Illinois' Joint Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Reform to also call on the chairs to resume meetings immediately. With 4 Illinois legislators indicted on charges ranging from bribery to ghost payrolling and federal tax evasion within the last year, and another one, Speaker Madigan, implicated in possibly the largest government bribery scheme in Illinois history, now is not the time to use the pause button on ethics issues. Despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, an ethical cloud hanging over Springfield needs to be addressed, and our commission can do that in a safe manner. Back on July 12th, the governor signed into law Senate Bill 2135, which was an amendment to the Open Meetings Act to allow meetings to be held virtually without the physical presence of a quorum for members. Again, those legal barriers were removed over 2 months ago, and yet there has been no action taken, no plan provided even by the chairs to schedule these meetings. There is no reason why we continue to delay the people's work on this very important issue, especially at a time when corruption and unethical behavior looms over Springfield. And now I'm going to kick it over to my colleague, Senator John Curran.
Thank you, Senator McConchie. I not only serve on this Ethics Commission, but I also serve on the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, commonly known as JCAR. JCAR has been meeting every month in person in Springfield, 12 members, a robust amount of staff, and various departments under the executive branch coming before JCAR on various administrative rules. JCAR has been meeting in person and safely throughout this pandemic. There's no reason ethics is not as important at this point in time in Illinois' government. We're at a crisis point with the scandals at state, Cook County, and City of Chicago levels, as well as various other municipalities. With these scandals going on, it's imperative that we meet in person safely, and we move forward with the important work in restoring the trust and the faith of the people of Illinois that elect us. This is a critical juncture. I hear all the time in my district about these as the scandals break. And quite frankly, it's not lost on people that the majority party in Springfield is refusing to move forward on ethics at this time when these scandals all involve members of that same party at these various levels of government, including members of the General Assembly. It is time to move forward. We should be meeting in person. The template is there with the Joint Committee Administrative Rules. Other committees are meeting virtually, including I have a Transportation Committee meeting later this week. We had one last week. We need to treat ethics and put it on this same level of importance. The time is now, and at this point, I want to turn it over to Representative Grant Wherli.
Thank you, Senator. It's great to be with you all this morning. My name is Grant Wherli. I'm Assistant Minority Leader, and I represent the 41st District, which covers parts of Naperville and Warrenville. To start off the 2020 General Assembly session, I was part of a press conference with Leader Durkin, and where we outlined our priorities for the year. And one of those priorities, one of our top priorities, is and remains ethics reform. We thought that this year, 2020, was finally going to be the year when ethics was going to be addressed legislatively. My colleagues have gone over the myriad of reasons why we desperately need ethics reform in Illinois, but we were optimistic that we were going to get this done this year. As a member of the Joint Commission on Ethics and Lobbying Reform, we were doing the work that we were supposed to be doing up until March 5th. We were getting testimony. We were hearing from legislative inspector generals, other people of interest that have interest in this topic, watchdog groups. The work was being done. Enter COVID. Now, we all understand the setback that COVID threw into a lot of things in our world. So that being said, however, we cannot simply let that be the excuse for this commission to fall apart like so many other commissions and task forces in Illinois do. It has now been over 5.5 months since we last met. It's over 170 days. There's no excuse, as outlined by my colleagues, why we cannot meet electronically or perhaps even in person to address this crisis in confidence that the state of Illinois has when it comes to ethics. I did receive a phone call after the letter was sent from Leader Harris wanting to know the best way to set up a meeting. That phone call was over a month ago and still nothing. Radio silence. Silence is corruption. So there have been other statewide task forces, committees, boards that do continue to meet. They include, as the Senator referenced, JCAR. We have the Audit Commission, Illinois Works Review Panel, the Census Commission, the Attorney General's Police Licensing Working Group, the Restore Illinois Collaborative Commission, the Senate Transportation Committee, the State Board of Education, the Board of Higher Education, the Illinois Commerce Commission, the Gaming Board, the Workers' Compensation Committee, the RTA Board, the Tollway Board, and the Pollution Control Board all have been meeting. Well, our Committee on Ethics Reform has not. The silence coming from the Democratic leadership on this commission, Senator L.G. Sims and Leader Greg Harris, is unconscionable. It speaks volumes to where their priorities are. I view it as an endorsement of the status quo. They would rather kick the can down the road, as is so often the practice when it comes to true reforms in Illinois. They're going to simply try to play out the clock, get past the November elections, and not address this crisis in confidence that we have in the state of Illinois. It is time to put partisan politics aside, leaders. Harris and Sims, reconstitute this commission. Let's finish the work that we were tasked to do. The time is now. Your silence is corruption. It's an endorsement of the status quo, and that is unacceptable to the people of Illinois.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.